Welcome back. Previously, we were discussing about the concept of quantitative techniques, its introduction, and we were discussing in detail the classification of quantitative techniques. And we have almost completed mathematical quantitative techniques and statistical quantitative techniques. So let us discuss some of the areas that comes under statistical quantitative techniques. First one, ratio analysis. Ratio analysis is a statistical technique which can be used for analyzing financial statements of any business or industrial concern which help to take proper decisions. Under this technique, various ratios are worked out which may show the financial stability or quality of the management. Even though it is a statistical technique that comes under quantitative techniques, it is a tool that mainly used in the field of accounting. We will discuss in detail this ratio analysis in the next semester, but before we go into that, we will discuss what is the concept of ratio analysis. We all know every concern has to make financial statements. Financial statement consists of trading profit and loss account and balance sheet. Trading and profit and loss account is prepared to identify the profitability of the performance of the concern, whereas balance sheet is prepared to know the financial position of the concern. And the mere knowledge of profitability and the position is not helpful for the management taking decisions, because management need information relating to each and every individual item relating to the business. And how the ratio analysis help the organization is that ratio analysis is consisting of many techniques and tools that helps the organization identifying whether the organization is earning sufficient profit or not, whether the organization is earning maintaining proper current assets balance or current liability balance, whether the organization is able to maintain working capital requirement of the business, whether the organization is earning sufficient sources or sufficient fund from various sources, whether the organization is utilizing those various funds which has been collected from various sources. There are many tools that help the organization in identifying each related activity within the business. So ratio analysis is a wide area. We will be discussing about the ratio analysis and its concept in the next semester. For the time being, just understand that ratio analysis is a tool that comes under statistical quantitative techniques that helps the business in decision making. Next one, probability and sampling. The theory of probability provides numerical values of the likelihood of the occurrence of the events, whereas sampling techniques make possible to divide inferences about the characteristics of the population. Testing of hypothesis is an important tool to judge the reliability of inference drawn on the basis of sample studies. Usually, probability and sampling techniques all are related to research-related studies. I hope you all know what is meant by research. Research means identifying or extracting information relating to a certain phenomena. We are not going into research area. We are going to discuss about probability and sampling. So remember, these two are related to research related study, and it is also used in business also. So what is meant by probability? I hope you all guys know what is the meaning of probability. Probability means studying or analyzing the occurrence of an event. Whenever an event is occurring in a stipulated period of time, we need to analyze the nature and style of that occurrence, because that events may be directly related to business or whatever the situation which we are dealing with. And probability technique is properly utilized in business to study various occurrence of events. For example, the profitability earned by a business during a period of 5 years. So we need to analyze whether the organization can earn the profit for the future period or the forecasting for a particular period. And probability help the organization in identifying those issues. That is the concept of probability. Probability is actually a mathematical area. We are going to study in detail the concept of probability and the tools and techniques used in probability in this subject. So we will discuss in detail the concept of probability in the coming sessions. So for the time being, just understand the concept. And regarding sampling technique, I hope you all guys know the sampling concept in this you have heard in the case of marketing as well as management. Sampling means actually whenever you are to study a large group of items, you might take some select or you might take or select some random items from a particular group. For example, in a class of 50, 60 or 100 students, in order to identify the general trend of the students or the general opinion of the student, you might ask or select anyone or any two students from the group, that particular group of 100 students. So that is an example of sampling. That is a concept of sampling. So whenever you want to study a large group, you will select certain items or certain persons from that particular group in a random pattern. There are different methods of sampling techniques, and the concept of sampling is that one. And usually sampling technique is used in research related problems, and at the same time in business also we used to conduct sampling techniques. And one such example is market test, and I hope you all know the meaning of market test. Next one, ANOVA. ANOVA means analysis of variance. It is a method of splitting the total variation of the given data into divisions which measure different sources of variation. It can be used for testing equality or several sample means. You may find it confusing, but don't worry, we will discuss this ANOVA in detail in the same subject. Before we go into further cases, just understand the concept. ANOVA, as the name suggests, it analyzes variance. Variance means if you want to study a particular issue or a subject. Issue or subject means if you want to study the cultivation or agriculture productivity of a particular area. The agriculture productivity of a particular area depends upon many factors. It may depend upon rainfall. It depends upon fertilizer use. It depends upon the type of soil and many factors. If you want to study the change or variance of these factors, it is known as analysis of variance. I am not going further deep into the area because we will study in detail in the same subject. So for the time being, just understand that ANOVA means analysis of variance. Next one, programming techniques or operation research techniques. These techniques are model building techniques used for decision makers in modern times. In the application of programming technique, first we formulate the problem and a suitable mathematical model is fitted to the problem. Then we derive the solution to the model, and finally correctness of the solution is tested. If necessary, model is modified on the basis of results of the test. You may find it confusing, but we will discuss the same with a simple example. For example, if I am a businessman, I have to face different types of problem, and I have a computer that has a certain number of programs or softwares, and various software can be used for solving various problems. So whenever I face any problem related to a particular situation, you extract the data relating to that particular issue and substitute the data in the particular software, and by using or processing the software will study the issue and give me various solutions for the situation, and I will choose the best solution for the solving the issue. And sometimes I will make necessary changes in the program or in the variables used so as to deal with the situation that has to be required. So this is the simple meaning of programming technique. Programming technique is actually a computer related solutions for dealing with business situation or in dealing with any types of problem relating to general business situation. So it, as the name suggests, it is a program. uh, Earlier I mentioned that software, but in syllabus or in subject we will discuss that model. So there will be a model for a particular, for dealing with particular situation, and we will substitute the sufficient data into that particular model, and the model will study the problem in detail and give us various solutions. On the basis of solution we will select the best one. That is the concept of programming technique. And there are many tools that comes under programming technique. First one, linear programming. Linear programming is used in finding a solution for optimizing a given objective under certain constraint. So before we go into the tools that comes under programming technique, remember the ultimate objective of programming technique and other techniques which we have studied is that every business run with the ultimate objective of maximizing profit and minimizing cost. Linear programming is one such tool of programming technique that helps in finding solution for optimizing a given objective under certain constraint. We will discuss about this linear programming in detail in this subject. For the time being, just understand the concept. We will go through the next area. Next one, queuing theory. Queuing theory deals with the mathematical study of queues. It aims at minimizing cost of both servicing and waiting. I hope you all know the meaning of queue. You have seen different types of queues in different situations. You have seen queues in traffic lines, traffic signals, bus stations, airports, railway stations, cinema halls likewise. So what is the concept of queue? Queue is actually a problem solving techniques whenever there is a large group of person or whenever there is large number of activities. And there is a principle for maintaining certain queue. You can see that in some areas, when some crowded areas, you find that there is a system of queuing method depending upon the situation. In railway station there will be a certain type of queue. In airport there will be a certain type of queue. In traffic signal you can see that in some signals the time or the seconds may be different. All these principles work on queuing theory. The main concept of queuing theory is a certain arrangement or a method has to be followed for the queues so as to minimize cost and so as to provide maximum services without further waiting. We will be discussing about queuing theory in the higher classes. For the time being, understand the concept. Next one, inventory theory. Inventory theory or inventory planning aims at optimizing inventory levels. It gives emphasis on minimizing costs associated with holding and procuring inventories and shortage of inventories. I hope you have heard the term inventory theory. Inventory theory is a concept where how a organization can maintain different levels of inventory. Because in some organization there will be a certain level for raw materials, certain level for work in progress, and certain level for finished goods. And there will be different levels for maintaining how much has to be maintained within the organization, how much has to be utilized during the particular process, how much is to be maintained at a minimum level. There are many types of levels and situations that has to be dealt with inventory control techniques, and inventory theory helps in maintaining those certain levels. And the reason regarding level is that an organization must maintain a certain level of inventory. Any level that goes beyond that will leads to catastrophic issues in the business. And in order to solve that issue, if the business is piling up all the inventory, it will also has another issue, because piling up of inventory will leads to shortage or excess working capital. So if the organization is maintaining the levels adequately, the organization can run smoothly. But if it goes beyond the level or if it is going above the level, then both situations is not good for the organization. You will be learning about inventory theory and inventory control techniques in the costing area Right now, just understand the concept of inventing theory. Let us go to the next one. Theory of games. Game theory is used to determine the optimum strategy in a competitive situation. This is one another technique that comes under programming technique. Under theory of game, there will be various tools and tactics that has to be implemented in any competitive situation so as to succeed in that event. For example, in chess match, if you are playing in a chess match, you can see that you have to plan your moves, and at the same time you have to plan accordingly to the moves that are made by your opponent. That is our best example of a game theory. So the same situation is also faced in a business situation also, because if I am a businessman, I have to plan for my business, and at the same time I have to plan accordingly so as to face the strategies that are implemented by the competitor. And the game theory is a very useful method that helps in providing various tactics, tools and techniques so as to deal with competitive situations. We will be learning about the theory of games in the higher studies. So we will go to the next one. Network programming. It is a technique of planning, scheduling, controlling, monitoring and coordinating large and complex projects comprising of a number of activities and events. It includes the critical path method, otherwise known as CPM, and program evaluation and review technique known as PERT, and there are many other network techniques. And the concept of network programming is that whenever you are dealing with a activity or a process or a situation that requires more time to complete, or that requires more number of activities, or that requires more number of processes. For example, building a bridge. We can't build a bridge overnight. It requires many plans, many processes, many activities. So those projects or activities that need considerable amount of time and processes, in such situation we need to plan accordingly, then only we can complete the project within time. In such situation, network programming helps the concerned person or a situation to deal with the activity that has to be completed within a stipulated period of time. And one of the important network programming techniques are CPM and PERT. We will discuss about the network programming in the higher studies. For the time being, just understand that network programming is one such programming technique that helps the business in decision making. Next one, simulation. Simulation is a technique of testing a model which resembles a real life situations. It is used to estimate an operation prior to the actual performance. The best example of a simulation is, you might have heard about the crash test conducted by many car companies. You might have seen the video of that, or you might have heard about that, or sometimes you haven't heard about that. Okay, remember, we all know the different types of cars that are available in the market. The car company, before introducing the product in the market, used to conduct one test. It is known as crash test. Crash test means they will create a situation where they will make the car that has to undergo different types of accident situations. Or it may be colliding the car to a straight wall, or colliding a car to a dummy pedestrian, or colliding the car to another car. So they will study different types of crash. So for that, they purposefully crashing the car to different situations. Why they are doing like that? Because they are doing like that so as to measure the safety of the car before they are issued to the public. And the company has to study the situation that the car might has to face after it has been sold to the customers. That is one of the example of a simulation. Simulation means practicing a particular event before it happens for real. That is an example of simulation. Simple example of a simulation is if you have joined for any, or if you are going to participate in a college day program for a dance event, you have to practice for the event. That is, you are practicing for an event that has to be made, or that has to be played in a future situation. So for before going into that program, you have to practice a number of times. That is an example of a simulation. Simulation is actually testing a model which resembles a real life situation. That is the concept of simulation, and we used to see different types of simulations in different situations. Usually simulation is applicable in car companies, and in film field you can see different types of simulation, graphical simulation, like that. One such simulation example is simulation method or a technique that is used in the renowned film Bahubali. You can see that many simulation activities are done in the process of making that film. Next one, search theory. Search theory concerned with research problems, and it is used to solve search problems. Simple meaning of search theory means you can see that you have come across different types of advertisements relating to searching for a sales executive, or searching for a sales representative, or medical representative, or searching for a persons that are required for a particular business or an activity. So in order to solve the issue regarding searching for a certain person, or searching for a certain activity, we use this search theory concept. And one of the best example of search theory is you can see advertisement regarding searching for an employee, or searching for an agent, so searching for an executive, likewise. Next one, replacement, otherwise known as replacement theory. Replacement theory is concerned with determination of the most economic replacement policy. You might have heard that certain fixed asset is replaced within the business. Yes, usually in a business replacement is possible, because fixed asset after a certain time will be disposed of and a new asset will be acquired. You may find it easy, but in a business, replacing an asset and acquiring a new asset is a very risky aspect, because concern has to study in detail whether it is time to replace that particular asset, and not only replacing the particular asset, it has to be replaced at the most economic value. And the replacement theory helps the organization in identifying the particular situation so as to replace a particular asset at the most economic value as possible. And the concept of the replacement theory is mainly used in the case of replacement of a fixed asset in a business, but not only in the case of business, it is applicable in all those decision situations. We will be discussing this replacement theory in higher studies. For right now, just understand the concept of replacement. And finally, it is non-linear programming. We have heard about linear programming previously. It is similar to the same concept of linear programming. The difference is that in linear programming there will be one objective and different constraints, and the variable used in that situation was linear. In non-linear programming, the variables used for the analysis will be non-linear. There are differences between linear and non-linear. For the time being, just understand the concept. We will discuss about the non-linear programming during the discussion of linear programming. Then only you will understand clearly with the help of an example. For the right now, just understand the concept of the linear programming as well as non-linear programming. We will discuss in detail all these areas that has to be dealt as per the syllabus in the coming sessions.